W-A-R-M. I call out a warm. I pray this devil die and get every evil thing the Lord got to give. And listen, I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Come here, SHALAM. Come here, SHALAM. I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Black people on drugs, and we suffering and dying. And I know it seems like you can do whatever you want to this people. I know it seems like this, but the time for glorifying yourself is soon at an end.
Shalom, Israel. This is Priest and Officer I.S.U.P.K of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of Oklahoma City. And today's topic we're going to talk about separation of the races. Okay, but before we get into this topic, as always, I want to let you guys know you can check out Commander Gen.YAHANNA every Monday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on The Grill, the last of the Angry Black Men radio show, the most controversial man on the planet, Commander Gen.YAHANNA. Every Monday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can call in with your questions or with your comments. Okay? You don't want to miss it. And as for Tuesday through Saturday, you can check out our free online classes. Free online classes from Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Okay? And on Saturday class, Sabbath class starts from 12 until 2. All right, let's get it. Okay, so back to the topic at hand. We're going to talk about separation of the races. Okay? And if you got your King James Version Bible, I want you to follow me to Nehemiah chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 3. Okay, that's Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 3 says, "Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude." Okay, back then, the other nations understood that law, that Israel was supposed to be separated from the other nations. Okay, they knew if they was mixed with Israel, the Most High would handle his business and do something bad to their nation. So they understood that they were supposed to separate from Israel. Okay, Israel's not supposed to be all mingled in with other nations. Okay, we're not supposed to follow the philosophies of other nations. We're not supposed to be so-called Buddhists and so-called in Islam and Muslims. Okay, that's dealing with other nations. Okay, we're not supposed to be Christians, the so-called Christians that's dealing with other nations. So we're going to get some more on this. Let's go to Acts chapter 10 and get some more. Acts chapter 10, and we're going to start at verse 28. Acts chapter 10, verse 28 says, "And he said unto them, Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company of or come unto one other nation. But God has showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean." Okay, so right here is letting you know that how it was unlawful for a Jew to keep company or come into another nation. Okay, you wasn't supposed to join the other nations. Okay, we're supposed to be separate. But Martin Luther King, he joined us to the so-called white man, these devils. Okay, and with us joining the so-called white man, we lost all our black businesses. We lost all our black restaurants, all our black hospitals, all our black hotels, establishments, grocery stores. Okay, Martin Luther King, he joined us to the devil, okay, with the so-called white people, which he was not supposed to do. We weren't supposed to follow that. We're supposed to be separate. Like the scripture's telling us, we be separate. Let's get that again. "And he said unto them, Ye know how that it is unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation." Okay, we're not supposed to join these other nations. Like I said, we're not supposed to be Buddhists. We're not supposed to follow the white man's Christianity. We're not supposed to be Seventh-day Adventists. We're not supposed to be Hindu and all this garbage, all these philosophies. Egyptology, we're not supposed to follow that mess. Okay, the Most High wanted us to be separate. Okay? So we're going to get some more on this. And even dealing like you trying to vote to join the so-called white man society, the Most High is against your voting. Okay? And for you Israelites, you're not supposed to vote. Okay, let's get some of this. Okay, so we're going to go to Deuteronomy. And we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 17. Yeah, because we got it twisted. Because we're in America, we do everything what the so-called other nations do. When the Most High commanded us not to do that. Okay, like y'all thought voting for Barack Obama was going to be a good thing. But he hasn't done anything good for our people. What'd he do? He made the gay marriages legal. And he made drugs legal, weed, okay? So that's not who we're supposed to be following after. We're supposed to be following after Christ. Okay, so we're going to get that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 17, and we're going to start at verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, when the Lord thy God shall choose one from among thy brethren, shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Okay, Obama, he's not our brother. We're not supposed to set anybody above us. Israel, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, Native American Indian man. We're not supposed to set anybody above us, whom the Most High hasn't choose. He said he's going to choose one from us, one of our brothers, to be king over us. Okay, so where you get off making Barack Obama your president, voting for him? First thing he did when he was in office, he bailed out Wall Street. Didn't do a thing for you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. Okay? So the Most High is not dealing with these outside nations. And you're supposed to be separate from these people. Okay? So let's get this again. Deuteronomy 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So you put a stranger over you when you voted for Obama. He's not our brother. He's a Hamite. Okay? They was in Harvard when our people were still picking cotton. Okay? So we're going to get some more on this separation thing. Let's go to Matthew chapter 25. Matthew chapter 25 to get some more. Okay, Matthew chapter 25, we're going to start at verse 31. Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. He's going to sit upon the throne of his glory when he come back with the angels. Okay, verse 32, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. Okay, so when Christ come back, he going to separate the nations again, because we're not supposed to be mixed together. Okay, he's going to separate us like the shepherd divided the sheep from the goats. Okay, and right now, you know, the so-called white man, they the goats, and we're not supposed to be mingled in with these people. All right, I understand you got to work with them, slave with them, but you don't invite them into your home. You don't go partying with them after work. Okay? Yeah, and if Christ loved everybody, why is he going to separate all the nations when he come back? You Christians are simple. So we're going to get some more on this. Let's go to Matthew chapter 15, and we're going to go to verse 24. Okay? Yeah, because Christ, the Most High Christ, he's not sent for everybody. Okay, he don't want you to be mixed in with the other nations. Matthew chapter 15, verse 24 says, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, nobody else but the lost sheep of the house of Israel was Christ's son to. He's not dealing with you other nations. Again, let's go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6 says, these 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, it's for Israel. Everything is for Israel. It's not for everybody. We're separate from everybody. That's why we keep the laws and the statutes and commandments of the Most High here at the I.S.U.P.K. Like when the tape come on, we're not affiliated with any other so-called Israelite group out there because they're all Christians. Okay? Here, Commander General Yohanna, he teaches us the right way. He teaches us to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the right way to understand these scriptures. So we're going to get some more on this. We're going to go to John chapter 4. John chapter 4, we're going to start at verse 9. John chapter 4, verse 9 says, Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, ask a drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Even this heathen knew that the Jews had no dealings with the Samaritans, because we knew back then they were supposed to be separated from these other nations. Okay? The Jews had no dealing with the Samaritans. All right, and for you people that's saying that we supposed to be joined with the white man and stuff, you know, the Most High, he hates Esau. And we're going to get there. Let's go to Romans chapter 9. Go to Romans chapter 9, and we're going to start at verse 13. There's Romans chapter 9 and verse 13 says, As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Okay, so it's fair with the Most High hate the people that hurt his children. Okay, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Esau hated us and did all kind of things to us in this so-called captivity. This is the last captivity of Israel that we're in right now. Okay, and we're supposed to be separate from these heathens. How you going to join with the oppressor? And you so-called Christians are so stupid. You want to bring everybody into this body. And how's that fair when the white man lived deliciously on the face of the earth and all the other nations live deliciously? And when they die, they're supposed to float off into heaven and live deliciously again while we've been in hell. And they supposed to float off in heaven with us to live deliciously? It don't work like that. The Most High is a just God, okay? And separation of the races is necessary to survive. All right, and with that, I'm going to say shalom, Israel.
When nowadays I work hard on the job, till I come cross still like I'm a criminal. Trying to get caught, it could be your first charge. Like, man, you ain't getting the minimum. It gon' dip, squat, 5 mile run, push, pull, sit on, goddamn, get strong. Looking at my baby, trying to keep them doing wrong. It's too long before they grow, I can't leave them on their own. They killed Daddy like he had a 30-day cake. The news covering up the story for what they say. It took me back to the time we lost Otis. Pretending these crackers, they gon' tell you something bogus. And I'm thinking like, damn, what you tell the kids? We try to put up a fight, but did we fail the kids? Cause they really got us looking like no damn good. And why success got to cost my manhood? Hey, black women,